Hello, therapy talkers. It is I, Pauline, and your other favorite therapist, Tammy. So we have 2 more episodes left in 2022. Can y'all believe it? So we just thought, we need to reflect on the year 2022. Or wait, no, 2021. Look who's so excited to get into the new year.
Yes. Pauline is ready to go.
I am ready to go. But
sprinting into the next year.
Here's the thing. So how can we reflect on the year and document it? Journaling, right? That's one way. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So what is journaling? Journaling is basically a space that you create for yourself to write down your thoughts and feelings all in one spot, right? Now, why is journaling important and why does your therapist recommend it? For those who've been in therapy, chances are your therapist has recommended it for you. So let's break it down a bit. Have you ever made a to-do list? When you were growing up, did you keep a diary? Okay, well, what if I told you that's a form of journaling? It is. So overall, journaling just creates clarity. It's a type of self-care. Now, before we really get into it, Tamika, I got a question for you.
Yes, ma'am.
How often do you recommend journaling to your clients?
How often do I recommend journaling to my clients? It probably depends, but it's often.
Yeah.
I don't have a specific tally mark, but yeah, it's pretty often. A lot of times people are like, I don't know. I feel like I forget what I'm feeling throughout the week when I come and see you. And I'm like, well, just journal it, It doesn't have to be anything big by any means. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. But yeah, just even if it's like an emoji in your notes in your phone, like how have you been feeling most of the time or 3 times a day or whatever. So it just depends per person kind of. Yeah. But I do recommend it often.
Okay. Yeah, I would.
Yeah. How about you?
I would say the same. It's typically something I recommend when I meet new individuals for the first time. Like our first session, we leave by me saying, hey, so I want you to get a journal. You don't have to do anything with it now, but get in a process of getting one because we're going to use a lot of it in session. And I explain how it's going to help with keeping track of different things and even bringing topics that you want to discuss. Because like you said, how often do people walk into an office and they're like, oh man, I don't really know what to talk about today, or I forgot what I wanted to talk about. So that's how journaling can be helpful. So things to look forward to in this glorious episode is we're going to talk about types of journaling. We're also going to talk about benefits of journaling. And then we're going to end with a how-to. So how to journal. So I want you to hit subscribe and share this with your friends, family, because it's the season of giving things and, receiving things as well. And we're giving this to you as your gift. So Tammy, will you start us off with types of journaling?
Absolutely. There are so many different types of journaling, and I'm sure I'm leaving some stuff out, but with sake of time, I just have a short list. So gratitude journals, you probably heard about that. I remember the first time I heard about gratitude journals when Oprah had her weekly talk show. So that's been a while ago, but that's basically just jotting down your thoughts and feelings and what you're grateful about. And I think we've talked about that in other episodes.
We have, for sure.
Yeah, we have. Journaling apps, there's a lot of times you don't have your notebook handy, but we always have our phone handy. So I would say you can definitely download a lot of great journaling apps and it'll guide you and direct you. There's so many out there. I'm not even going to start by mentioning those, but journaling apps so that we can always have your portable notebook with you. So that works. Daily journal. So if you're looking for ways to reflect daily, this could be your jam. So just write, put the date, maybe put the time and how you feel. You're done until next time you want to journal. So I think that's mostly what people think of. That's kind of like a diary form. Junk journal. Now this is my kind of jam. Junk journal has less structure. It's very willy-nilly. It's kind of like recalling things, and maybe you might use it as kind of like a scrapbook where you might get some glue and maybe put some Post-it notes in there, or like maybe a movie ticket in there if you want to journal about that. But it's very loose. It's very fluid. You can even write down like, I feel crappy today, and then put like a little doodle in there. I do a lot of junk journaling. Bullet journal, if you're a planner, this could be for you. Bullet journals is about writing down tasks, plans, goal settings. If you look at Pinterest or any other social media and talk about bullet journaling, there's going to be a plethora of information out there for you. It is endless, totally endless, and it's very inspirational. I love looking at bullet journals. They're a lot of fun to look at. I've tried to implement it and I struggle a little bit with it, but they're absolutely beautiful journals. Moving into art and creative journals. If you're artistic or creative, you can definitely just like, maybe the inspiration of a sunset, you're like, I want to like reflect how I'm feeling. Maybe get out some watercolors, paint the sunset, and then write how you're feeling at that moment. So just really digging into that creativity. You can use any type of medium and then jot down your thoughts or leave it as is, just art. Free flow journaling, this is more of a private journal. You use this to write everything. Don't worry about spelling, don't worry about grammar, don't worry about anything. This is just putting your thoughts down. And this is probably more of like what I would say is kind of like the mental health aspect of journaling. You're putting down your thoughts, your feelings. You're not censoring yourself. You're not worrying about what people might think or feel. And if you have a worry of people maybe looking at this journal, just try to keep it in a private spot. In journals, free-flowing journal, no censoring. So just, it's a great way to journal. Journal prompts. Again, social media is amazing. YouTube is great. Journaling prompts, it's like if you want to journal but you don't really know what to journal, you can look up all sorts of journal prompts, and they will help you. You can also buy specific journals. I'm going to show a couple examples of mine. I have a bucket list travel journal. So I keep this with me when I travel, depending how much room I have, but it kind of prompts, I'm just going to turn to a page, it kind of prompts you to different things to write about your travels. So I really like that.
I have a question, Tammy. Is it a journal for per traveling trip? Oh.
Yes. Sorry, I had to chop down there and get it. So it has like date, what I did, why it's on my list, who I was with, the details, how I was feeling, and would I do it again. I have one that I keep in my camper that is specifically camper related, so I can rate like the campground I'm at, kind of give my own star review and things like that, or what I found to be helpful, not helpful things. I keep saying things like that. But anyway, so I have an RV journal that I keep in my RV. This is more of like pack with me when I fly type things, or planning. So like I said, it says bucket list. So if you think about bucket lists as planning for the future. Speaking of bucket lists, I have a bucket list book. This is probably my pride and joy. I don't let anybody really see this, but I started this back in 2010. And I have just all my bucket list items that I want to accomplish. Some of them are really big goals. Some of them are very teeny tiny goals, but I have probably over 100 pages of just different things written down. And when I've accomplished that goal, I'll go back and I will put a check mark. I'll put the date and any other significance. There's not a whole lot of room to write, when I've accomplished it and stuff, but I do know I do have my own system, I guess I should say. And my last but not least, a prayer journal is something that I purchased, but I haven't used yet, but I've kind of used some different aspects on it. So this has journaling and journaling prompts. I found this on Amazon. Amazon's amazing, or your local bookstore would have anything like this. So any kind of specific journal you can find honed into your personal interest, Pauline. So that is my big but yet little list of journaling.
I love it. I mean, before we even created this content, you and I were talking about I was sharing with you how I'm planning on getting a journal because I want something more physical to have, and I want to kind of put some things into perspective for myself through writing, and I'm really looking forward to it. And you've just inspired me to look for more than just the one journal I was going to go to probably Barnes & Noble's for. Yeah, I definitely want a travel journal because y'all know we love to travel.
We do.
Yeah. So
So
I'm sorry, did I cut you off?
Oh, I was just going to say, so you're going to practice what you preach. So we talk about it in therapy, but we're going to try to implement it more.
Yes, we are going to practice what we preach, taking it to church. Amen. Go ahead and hit like, hit subscribe. Okay, so let's get back into it. Let's talk about the benefits of journaling. Why do therapists recommend it? Why do I recommend it? It helps you cope with depression. So gratitude journaling can help you really be in a moment, because when we're depressed, we're typically in the past and dwelling on that. And that's why we're in that moment. And so doing gratitude journaling, looking at what's gone well for you, you can just jot that down, keep an inventory of these things, because we tend to forget about things that's actually gone well for us, especially when we're feeling depressed. Also, benefits of journaling can help reduce anxiety. So for those who struggle with sleeping or waking up from their sleep, typically anxiety is related to that for some people. And so sometimes journaling right before bed can help just clearing out that clutter. And when you wake up from your sleep, maybe you had a nightmare, right? That's something you can journal about. It can also slow down your thoughts, especially if you're writing it. Not everyone wants to write, but when I recommend it to my clients, I want you to take pen and paper and write, because your brain is slowing down and you're processing as you're writing. And therapy talk tip, journaling is also your type of therapy in between sessions, right?
Absolutely.
So do it. Yep. It helps manage stress. It helps prioritize issues and concerns. I mean, we can worry all day long, but if we don't do anything about it, like find a solution, then nothing happens. So journaling can help you really prioritize these concerns and things you have to figure out what should I actually work on first. And then it helps with tracking any symptoms down. So this can be like your triggers. It can be whether you're having good or bad days. Also, for individuals who've been diagnosed with bipolar disorder, it can help you track your manic days. Like how many times, when is my mania occurring, in between like when and when. So you can like track those moods, and it's helpful for your primary prescriber and also as your therapist. And it gives us like, well, what's happening here? Is there a timeline? Is there something going on? And then listing affirmations and other positive self-talk. Maybe you can put it on sticky notes and stick it everywhere. And my favorite, this is probably the main reason why I also recommend journaling, is to identify on helpful thoughts, such as your stinking thinking. If you don't know your thoughts stink sometimes, then you can't really change it, right? So write it down so you can see it and we can explore more on where is this coming from. Okay. So we're going to end the episode on a how-to. How do we journal? Like, we just talked about all this stuff. How do we actually do it? Journal as often as you can. Really simple. Make it as simple as you like. Journal as much as you need it. As needed. If you're able to journal every day, do it. And we're not talking about like sitting down for hours on hours doing it. If that's your jam, do it.
Getting out my calligraphy pen.
Hey, that's what some people do, and I'm not going to like judge or anything. If it works for you, it works for you.
Really appreciate that.
Journal in a way that allows you to be self-expressive. So you can draw, you can write, you can do both. You know, you can doodle, all of that, whatever you need to help you. And tapping into something that Tammy said earlier, there's no need to autocorrect. You don't need to have like perfect grammar when you're journaling. Just journal freely. Just write. It's for you. It's not for anyone else. And your journal is private to you. To you. You know? So don't write thinking, oh yeah, so-and-so is going to read it. If that's the case, then you're probably never going to write. So
yeah, the kind of defeats
it does purge it. Like I like to say, you can write and toss it if you want, whatever that purging looks like for you. Go ahead and do it. Mm-hmm. So that's what we have.
Thanks for Pauline. That was amazing. So if you enjoyed this content, like Pauline said, please hit like, share, subscribe, hit that bell to get notified when we have new videos. We have new videos all the time. And we're just as charming in the other ones as we are in this one, so you're not going to want to miss it. But if you have journaled, let us know in the comments below. If you've struggled with journaling, let us know too. If you have any thoughts on journaling, obviously, let us know in the comments. Thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate you. We're going to put you in our gratitude journals today. Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.